Across the globe we're shining bright, telling stories that feel so right. From every culture, every place, we're building love, we're sharing grace. Oh, we see the beauty in every soul. Together we're stronger, making us whole. Legacy lives in all that we do. Mogul TV, it starts with you. Mogul TV, we're changing the game. One voice, one heart, one name. Streaming hope, shining through. A better world for me and you. Mogul TV, where we belong. Our stories live, our hearts stay strong. Mogul TV, we're changing the game. One voice, one heart, one name. 52 countries, love on display. Breaking boundaries every day. Feel the rhythm.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Meet the Moguls. I am Tameka Chapman, founder of Mogul TV Global Network, and I'm excited to have in company with me Gregory McKinney. Hey, Gregory, how are you?
I am wonderful. It's good to be here. I was really into the intro. All of that black girl magic was blinding me.
Oh,
It was really good.
me.
Yeah, you were popping. I love it.
Supporting all of us. That's all I know. Okay. But Meet the Moguls is here to showcase you. It's all about you tonight, as an author, as a life coach, as a host, right? As a producer of
Yeah,
good quality content, as a speaker. Hello, you have all of these titles
yeah,
and you have so much wisdom inside of you. And I love hearing you speak because every time you speak, it's
thank you.
like it inspires me. It inspires me to think a little bit deeper about how I do things or how I think about things. And so, this is going to be a time for my people to hear more about you, and I know it's going to inspire them too. So, as you're coming on, and if you catch the
Yeah,
replay, make sure you share this out. Let everybody else know more about Gregory McKinney because that's what it's all about tonight. So, Gregory, can you please give us a good introduction of who is Gregory McKinney? Not the title,
yeah.
but who is
Listen,
Gregory
first of all,
McKinney?
you you are way too kind. You are way too kind. I'm just a guy who does what God tells him to do. If I had a title, that would
Mm,
be it. I'm a guy who does what God tells him to do, and that shows up in a lot of different ways. It's funny you should say that because my daughters, who of course have known me all their lives, they roll their eyes. They say they can tell when I'm going into coaching mode or preaching
uh-huh.
mode, and it just go, Dad, no, don't do that. Dad, don't. So I appreciate the people that do enjoy it. The people that talk to me very often kind of go, okay, there he goes again. There he goes again. So my family, my friends, but. Uh, essentially, I do consider myself to be a servant and an encourager. If there was two words that would sum me up, a servant and an encourager. And the way that that shows up in life is through ministry. There, either it's preaching the word, writing, or coaching, or however it is. I have the gift of gab. I enjoy communicating. I enjoy the exchanging of ideas and information. I think information and knowledge and wisdom is meant to be recycled. And so, whatever it is that I possess, I just want to share it with other people. But then also, I enjoy learning and listening and hearing what other people have to share as well. If I
Yeah,
had a hobby, it would be talking. It would just be the exchange of what is the God in you. You share it with
yeah.
me, and I'll share the God in me to you. So that's who I am, basically a servant and an encourager.
I love that. I love
Yeah,
that. And a lot of times people skip over, purpose. They skip over what am I really here to do? Because they're chasing
yeah,
after titles. They're chasing after titles, and a lot of times they find themselves empty because they've chased a title
yep,
for so long that they've lost who they are. They've lost count of okay, what am I really supposed to be doing? And then you end up 40, 50, 60 years old trying to talk about I'm just seeking my purpose at this point in my life. Okay. So as a life coach, because I want to
Yeah,
start there, there's so many people with the title of life coach, but there's
right,
not many who can really guide you on a path.
right.
And when I say that, it's as people, we go through so much. We go through so much. We have so many challenges and issues that pop up out of nowhere. Sometimes
Hmm.
some people may say, but as a life coach, what are some things when I don't know how I want to ask this, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. So for those of us, because I'm gonna put myself in the mix, because I don't want anybody to feel left out. So for those of us who still have questions about how we should move forward towards a thing that we feel we've been called to do, what are some things that we should think about, and how can we start making those steps forward?
Right, right. One of the things is when I teach people how to make a decision, one of the things on that list is you play the movie forward. And so think about your life 3 weeks from now, 3 months from now, and 3 years from now. What would be your biggest regret? The you 3 years from now, would you regret playing it safe and staying at that job and making that paycheck every 2 weeks, or would your biggest regret be I didn't take a chance and go back to school or become a chef or learn a new hobby? What would your biggest regret be? And so a lot of life, if we're looking to make decisions, reverse engineer. Imagine yourself 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. What would make that person most proud? What would make
Hmm.
that person go, thank you, I'm glad you started now and you didn't wait? And so and that's a good way of measuring if you should make a decision. And then another way is a lot of times we need validation. And so ask your closest friends, the people that are willing to tell you the truth. What do I do well? What do I do well? That gives you a good impression of how you show up in the world, how you
Yeah.
present in the world, and that will kind of give you like, you're a good connector. You are always introducing other people, or you're great with hospitality, you're great with administration. That will kind of also give you a clue of what you should be doing next. As far as the
Yeah.
fear part goes, listen, life is always going to be scary, and
Yep.
life is always you're always going to have some goosebumps and some apprehensions because life is not safe. It's not meant to be safe. It's never going to be safe. So the option of safe is not an option that we should legitimately consider, because if you're living a safe life, then you're not living life. Life is
Right.
meant to be a bit unpredictable and scary because that's where you grow. You can't
Mm.
grow in a comfort zone. You only grow when you get out of that comfort zone.
Oof. Oof. You only grow when you get out of the comfort zone. I love that. And it sounds a lot like you're talking about getting clarity on what it is that you should be
Yeah,
doing, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And speaking of clarity, let's talk about clarity code. I
Right.
want to make sure
Talk
that
about
we
it.
talk about, what clarity is. And then, let's talk about clarity code because again, people need to know about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So clarity is being in alignment with the purpose and mission you was created for, right? And so a
Mm.
lot of times we're born into a family and our mama says some things to us and our dad says some things to us and our cousins and our brothers and our teachers. Everybody, we have allowed too many people to put the definition of who we are on our life. So the
Right.
clarity code is a 12-week course that I've created that gives you clarity, that removes all of the non-essential things or the definitions and moves all of the stuff that's not you. And I work with you so you can get clarity, so you can really find out what you are here to do. And oftentimes you'll find out it's not what your mother said, it's not what your dad said, and sometimes it's not even what you thought. It's really essentially getting in tune with where do I feel my most free and my most effective.
Hmm.
That's your alignment, where you feel most free and you feel the most effective. That's the way we should be living life. God didn't create you to sit in the cubicle for 30 years and get a watch at the end of your retirement. He created you on purpose for a purpose. So let's get
Right.
busy doing that purpose. And so when people reach out to me and they sign up for the Clarity Code, what I do is that we get specific. Now, motivation and inspiration is free. And if anyone follows me on social media, I give motivation and inspiration for free pretty much every day. But if you work with me, what you're paying for is specificity. I sit at your kitchen table, I get in your business, and I say these specific things to you, what's going on in your life. Here's what we need to tweak. Here's what we need to change so you can maximize your potential. It will be a waste. It will be such a waste to allow, and you get to the end of your life and allow everybody to use you but God.
Right. Right. I love that. When you get to the end of your life, it'd be a waste to let everybody use you but God. Oh my gosh.
Hmm.
But God. But
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you're speaking about the clarity code, I just want to make sure that people understand the clarity code, mastering your mind, aligning your spirit, and leading with purpose, which is exactly what you're speaking about. It's exactly that. I knew, okay, let me just be a little bit transparent out here for these people. Long time ago, I heard, that everybody has a purpose, and when
Yeah.
your purpose has been met, God calls you home. And for a
Mm.
long time, I was running from my purpose. I'm just like,
Okay.
no, I got some more things I need to do. Can't do it just yet, right? So it's more like
Yeah.
I know that when my purpose is met, I'm no longer needed here. So, Jesus, just give me a little bit more time to get towards it. But for people like me who may be running from their purpose and have run from the purpose for a very long time, and they're not sure on, well, is this really what I should be doing? Or how do I understand like what I'm really here for? I believe that the clarity code would help them with that.
Yeah,
Am
yeah.
I right?
Everybody does have a purpose. You're absolutely right. That's what the Clarity Code is all about. Uh, the first purpose that everybody has on this planet is to be the best version of you. And a lot of times when people think about their purpose, they're thinking, I should be an author, a singer, an actress, a business owner. What is it I'm supposed to do? Everybody's first primary purpose is to develop yourself at your highest potential. So that means spiritually, mentally,
Yeah.
physically, financially. What does the best version of you look like? And so if anybody out there is listening, like, I don't have a purpose, I'm not sure, I don't know how to sing, I don't know how to dance, I don't know what to do. Um, you are your biggest purpose. You are your biggest investment. Are you doing everything? When you look at yourself in the mirror, can you honestly say, this is the best version of me? This is the
Mm,
best that I can do with this body and these gifts that God has given me. Put aside writing the book or, being a missionary and going to other countries and spreading the gospel. Forget it, put that all aside. Like, do I get up at the right time every morning? Am I on time for work? Do I make my bed? Do I clean my house? Is this the best version of you? That's
mm,
that's your first purpose. Once you develop you, what will happen is that you then become a light and tool unto this world. You become an influencer in this sphere and the community and the people that God is giving you. And they'll start looking at you and going, there's something different, there's something special. And you'll find that your purpose will be born after you have invested in yourself first.
yeah, yeah. I've seen so many people try to do what everybody else is doing. I've seen so many people try to mimic how other people do because they're chasing influence, they're
Yeah,
chasing fame, they're
yeah,
chasing fortune, and unfortunately, a lot of times they fall back at zero, just because they are not following the path that they should be on. And so I
yeah.
love that you're offering this kind of help. Okay,
Mhm.
we have somebody in there. Don't start nothing, Gregory, okay? Uh, but I love that you are offering help, you're offering guidance, you're offering a better path and the right path for individuals, not necessarily saying, okay, do you see how they did it? Go do what they did, right? Because
Yeah.
that's not necessarily a path that would work for everybody. And
So,
so,
mhm.
uh-huh,
You,
going
you, you
on.
know, I just, if I could continue a little bit about the purpose part, here's how you should know or understand what your purpose is and or your ministry is. And if anybody's out there looking to be a life coach, what type of clients you should work with or who your audience is, whatever type of influence you're looking to have in the world. Let's go back 10 years, right? In everybody's life, go back 10 years. What adversities did you overcome? What
Mm,
storms did you get through? And imagine that word storm. Now, when you was in that storm, don't you wish you had someone to help pull you out of that? How much money would you have paid to have someone come up and say, hey, here's the answer to this storm. This is how you get through it. And
wow.
so your purpose is to help the people that are going through what you have come out of. That's everyone's purpose here. So
Yeah.
whatever that, it may have been depression, alcoholism, whatever it may be, your purpose is when you see someone else battling with those issues, demons, or in that storm, take them by the hand and help pull them out. You have a
Yeah.
purpose because you have weathered a storm.
Wow. I love that. And you just had me sitting here talking about 10 years ago. What was I doing? What was I going through?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and I love the fact that you said your purpose is to help somebody else get through the storm that you've already overcome.
mhm,
And
mhm,
that's something that, yeah, about, oh my gosh, 8 years ago now, I believe it is, I wrote my first book that talked about my
mm,
journey through infertility for 18
mhm.
years. And it took a
Wow.
lot in me to actually write the words that I wrote. And as I sat back and I read it, I began to cry because I'm just like, oh my gosh, I
Yeah,
didn't even realize how much I was actually going through while I was going through it. I just knew that it was a lot.
yeah,
But I can say that since I've written that book is continuing to still bless so many women. I still have conversations with women like, oh my gosh, I didn't know. And I'm just like, yeah, I wrote a book about it. I'm getting the book. And so the book continues to sell because I shared my story, because, not saying I'm trying to be nobody's life coach because I don't do emotions like that. I don't do. But I would say I believe, exactly in what it is that you're saying, that, your purpose is to help others. And so my way of helping others was to write my book. Um,
yeah. That's
and again, it's
beautiful. That's
blessing
great.
others, and it still blesses me. It's still, because anytime I feel like, you know what, I just need to pick me up, I actually pick the book up and I read it, and it restores my faith. It restores every ounce of faith and hope that I have within me to go forward and do a thing. It really is
Yeah,
a restorer for me. It really is. And
yeah,
so, again, thank you. I thank you for being you. I thank you for being a man who knows his purpose and who is, doing what it is that
yeah,
God told him to do, right? Um,
yeah,
so with that, I want to shift gears a little bit, because there's something else that you and I have talked about in the past extensively. And if y'all don't know, yes, I know Greg. He's like a big brother to me, okay?
mhm,
So we're talking about emotional wellness, mental health, and emotional wellness.
yeah.
Those are big topics that, oh, he just adjusted his chair, y'all. Oh my gosh.
I'm ready.
Yes, you are late, GW. You are late, but you here, and we thank you for being here. So y'all go ahead on and share this live out to other people to let them tune in too. Thank you all for being here, Alicia and Gerard. Thank you. Um, but as we speak about, mental health and emotional wellness, for women, this one of my things that I love to talk about when it comes to us as Black women, because I
Right,
believe that,
right.
I've had my own share of mental wellness challenges in the past, which has caused a
Yeah,
lot of things to happen and not happen. And so, you also have a book on
yeah,
men's emotion, a book for men's emotional wellness. And so I want to talk about that for a moment, because I think where we
yeah.
are right now in today's time, there's still a lot going on in life that impacts our mental wellness, that impacts our emotional wellness, that impacts our spiritual wellness as well.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
so, as we continue to try to move forward, try to find a path forward that works for us in this world, I can't say a new normal because we don't know what normal is anymore right now. But
Right.
can we talk about some things on how we can begin to navigate these muddy waters and continue to take care of ourselves, or begin to take care of our mental wellness and emotional wellness?
Yeah, yeah. I think the first thing to know is that you are not alone and you're not the only person. I think we want to sometimes suffer in a silo. We were brought up. If you're of a certain generation, what happens in this house stays in this house, and
Mm,
we get a certain level of just fear of being exposed. And the
right.
first step in and becoming a better person is waving your hand and saying, ouch, this hurts.
Mhm.
This is difficult. And that sometimes for men appears to be a sign of weakness, but it really is one of the strongest things you can do is to say, I need help. That
Right.
takes a huge amount of courage and bravery to say, hey, look, I don't know the answer here. I don't know the next step. So the first thing that we can do is to admit that, hey, I am suffering. And everyone, I want them to understand that the world that we live in now, with so much knowledge and wisdom that's available to us, to suffer is a choice. To
Mm.
suffer is a choice because there is an outlet out there for you. You just got to be brave enough to go out there and reach it. You may not be able to afford therapy, but you can seek wisdom. You can seek wise counsel, right? There's an avenue out there, and it's okay to not be okay. I know that sounds almost cliche now, but it really is true. It's okay to not be okay. It's just not okay to stay not okay, right?
Mhm.
The second thing is, and this is sometimes a challenge for us, is we have to unlearn some things. It's not always about learning a new strategy or learning a new technique. Oftentimes, it's about learning that what I learned as a kid really isn't effective anymore. What
Right.
people that had good intentions, grandma, grandpa, mom, and dad, when they told me certain things, I took them as law. But now that I'm older, I understand that's what got them through, but it's not going to get me through. I have to learn a new way. And so be open to unlearn some things so that you can learn what's best for you. And number three, and this is really a toughie for a lot of people, you have to practice being happy. I know that sounds weird, but you really have to be intentional about your happiness to say, I'm not going to let that bother me, or I will worry about that later. One of the things that we tend to do, we tend to practice sadness, we tend to practice depression. Let's get into the habit of practicing happiness and joy. Get into the practice of every day. One of the things I do in my coaching practice is people that have struggles with being happy. Is I have every day when they wake up is to write down 10 things that they're grateful for. You can always find something to be grateful for. The
Yes.
tricky part is that you can always find something to be angry about also. Life is just that dichotomy. There's always something negative you can focus on or something positive you can focus on. So that's why I say suffering is a choice. What are you going to decide that you're going to focus on? Those
Yeah.
three things help us really to move forward. And of course, you want to surround yourself with a happy community. And there's a lot of other things, spiritual investments that you should make, physical investments that you can make in yourself that will really help boost that. But first and foremost, I want everybody to know that rainy days happen to us all.
Yep.
Rainy days happens to us all. Everybody's going to have a storm or a rainy day, and that's just part of the human experience. That is not a deficit in your life or an indictment against who you are. It just simply means it's your turn. This is just your turn to go through the storm. You want to surround yourself with people that can help you through that storm.
I love that. You say that rainy days are gonna happen one way or the
Yeah,
other.
one way or
But
another.
can we talk about throwing some seeds down before the rain comes? When it comes,
Right,
it's
right.
something good bloom up, right? Something good to make you happy, to keep you smiling. Hello,
Well,
beautiful
one thing is true also, every storm eventually runs out of rain. It can't
right?
rain always. Soon this storm will pass. And
Yeah.
we get to decide if it's going to make us bitter or make us better. So let it make us better. Let's learn the wisdom from this storm so that we are empowered and we can empower others.
Right. I love that.
Don't
And
waste
so
your storm.
don't, ooh, I like that. Don't waste your storm. Okay, so Gerard has a comment here in the comments here. A lot of people are angry about what is due disappointment because of an entitled mindset. Mm, an entitled mindset. Um, Gerard, I don't even know if I want to have that deeper conversation with you right now. But let's talk about entitled mindset because we are dealing with some entitled mindsets that really
Yeah.
impact a lot of people. And we all have our thoughts, and we have our thoughts, good or bad, about whatever it is. But you know due to disappointment, yep, I got you, sir. um Due to disappointment because of an entitled mindset. So that is basically saying that they have an entitled mindset and they have been disappointed over and over, um, from whatever they thought should happen, or whatever they thought that I should have this, or I should have that, or I should be at this point in my life by now. I've come across so many people that have told me that. Like, I feel so, I feel like I am
Yeah.
not where I should be. I feel like I should be
Yeah.
so much further ahead, than where I am right now. In my head, I'm just like, no, you're right where you're supposed to be. You are right where you're supposed to be, because there's something that you need to be learning from this phase in your life so that you can move forward. And as you said, looking back 10 years ago, what can you learn right now that you can share with someone else, that you can help them get out of a situation they're going through, after you get out of your storm? But I love that you said, don't waste your storm. And so, with that,
Yeah.
um, can we talk a little bit about your book? Can we talk about it?
Yeah.
Emotional Intelligence for Men. Why did you write this book, Gregory?
When I was growing up as a young boy, part of the reason why I even became a life coach is because I wish I had some type of guidance of how men should show up and how men are able to deal with their own challenges. And unfortunately, I think that is the case for a lot of Black men. We don't have a place to go, or a group of other brothers that we can go to and say, this is how you navigate love, money, career, your health, getting older. At each stage in life, it's you never outgrow the need for a mentor. I like to say there's always a boy inside of us as men that never outgrows the need for a father. Someone that's just a little bit further down the road that says, I've been through that. Let me show you how I did it. And so, without that leadership, without that mentorship, without that guidance, we're out here making unnecessary mistakes. And so I wrote this book so that men can, number one, feel like it's okay to be confused. It's okay to not understand how to communicate as a husband all the time, or how to communicate as a leader or as a father, that sometimes we're going to fumble, but that's okay. And in the book, I give you tools and techniques of like, okay, this is how you do it better. Not perfect, but this is how you can do it better. Because the
Yeah.
goal is not to be perfect, the goal is to be effective, right? You want to be effective with your wife, you want to be effective with your children, in your community, at your job. And so I wrote the book so that men can say, okay, here's a light in this dark room. That I and really I wrote it because it's something I wish I had when I
Yeah.
was younger, that I had a book to read to go, oh, this is it. Because a lot of times you find yourself, I don't think I'm the only person that had this feeling growing up as an adolescent, that everybody around you knows a secret that you don't know about
Right.
how to get through life. It just feels like, oh, everybody else kind of knows how to do this better than me. And then you get older, a little bit wiser, and say, oh, we're all out here faking it until we make it, right? Uh, but I wanted to write a book to go, okay, here's the secret. This is how you do it. This is how you do
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So Gerard says one of the most powerful, thought-provoking questions is this: who taught you how to blank, whatever that thing is? Someone or circumstances would teach us everything we know. I love that. And yes, you wrote the book for men, but I will tell you that we as girls, we thought the same thing. Like, what does she know that I don't know? Like,
Yeah,
how does she know that? And so, thank you for writing the book. I believe that the book blesses. I believe that it encourages, but it also teaches, right? It also
yeah,
teaches that, to tap into your emotional intelligence, tap into
right.
asking questions, tap into getting the help that you need, but also tap into having a conversation with Gregory McKinney, the life coach that's going to help you with dealing with different issues that you may be, going through with your emotional intelligence.
Yeah. I've
So,
often said vulnerability, if done well, is a teacher. Because when
yeah.
you're vulnerable to your spouse, it says, hey, love me this way, not
Mm,
that way. When you say these words that hurt, so say this instead. Vulnerability is not a sign of weakness. Vulnerability is guidance. Vulnerability is a teacher. This is how to love me better. So whenever you're vulnerable as men, you're giving your wife the opportunity to be more effective in her role, because as a husband, you want to be effective. You want to know that you're saying the right things and doing the right things. And so we also want to give our spouse that opportunity as well. When being vulnerable, you're showing this is how to be better. This is how you can love me better. That's really the purpose of vulnerability.
Yeah, that's good. Too many people are not able to be vulnerable, or they don't feel that they can be vulnerable because they don't
Yeah.
trust
Yeah.
the people that they should be vulnerable with, and that's
Hmm.
very unfortunate.
It
When it
is.
comes to, I've had my own issues with being vulnerable, but it was more about not being in the right circle of people
Hmm.
where I felt comfortable, sharing more of myself and sharing more of my challenges or struggles, because again, when you're in the wrong place, people try to use that against you. um
Yeah.
oh, I have a question for you. We got a question.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I want to just say again, thank you all for tuning in. This is Meet the Moguls, where I get a chance to share, to showcase all of the amazing partners that I have here on Mogul TV Global Network. Gregory McKinney is one of our partners here on on Mogul TV, and we're excited to do more, collaborate more, support more. This is what Mogul TV is all about. And so the question that we have, hi Sean, how are you? Thank you for joining. I appreciate you for being here. So the question that Gerard has, Gregory, if you had a client that was raw and unfiltered but needed your best work, do you
Yeah.
feel it's necessary to start with emotional maturity or spiritual maturity?
Wow. Uh, well, the first thing you want to talk about is boundaries. You want to talk about respect. You want to talk about appropriateness, and so that's just maturity as a whole. We want to set the standard for how we're going to conduct ourselves here. And but that can be a little tricky too, because you don't want your client to feel like, oh, they're coming in just to insult and degrade and to check me. Who gonna check me, boo? Right? So it has to be a little bit of finesse with that.
Yeah.
And so the wording would be like, in order for me to understand you better, could you tell me that a different way? I really want to get to the root of the problem here, but I'm not quite understanding. Is there a way that you can rephrase that? And so you have to be the example first. And sometimes with men, that's a great question. Sometimes men don't have the words. And I find myself when I have conversations with men, I have to give them examples of the answer. So tell me how you're feeling today. Are you feeling frustrated? Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling angry? Versus when I have a female client, it's tell me how you're feeling today. And they're able to fill in the blanks for themselves. And
Absolutely.
so depending sometimes on the depending sometimes on the person, it's not that they're trying to be crass or rude. They just don't know how to express themselves in a way that is effective. They just come from a place of just of how what life has taught them so far. Yeah.
I like that.
And
I
so
like that.
yeah,
So first, starting with those boundaries, absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
And
It's
again,
the rules of conduct here.
thank you for joining us, Sean. I appreciate you for being here. We have GW. I'm sick of this. Um, so at the end of the day, I will say that us as women, as you say, we will tell you, we'll have all the emotions to share about how we feel, but sometimes we don't have a word if you got into that tired phase, if you got into the I'm just sick and tired of being sick and tired. I've tried, I don't know what else to do. I don't know where to start. I don't know how to feel anymore. It's sometimes you get to the point of just feeling numb. And yes, I'm speaking from experience because I've been there in different phases of my life, going through different things in my life. And so, piggybacking off of Gerard's question, if it is a
Yeah.
woman who is coming to you for therapy, because you serve men and women, not just men. But if
Mhm.
you do have women who come for therapy session or some counseling
Yeah.
sessions, how can
I
you
love it.
help her to begin to get more in tune with her
I
emotions
love it.
and
I
better
love it.
managing her emotions?
I love it. I love it. I love it. You know, generally, men want to know what are the three steps I need to take to solve this problem. I need to do A, B, and C, and it's done, right? They want to know the solution. Women want to know who do I need to become,
Mm,
versus men just tell me the solution and not the steps to the solution. Women are like, who do I need to become in order for this to get better, or this doesn't happen again. With women, you ask questions that allow for them to express themselves in a creative way. I've noticed it to be effective for me. So I would ask a female client this question: what is it that you wish other people knew that you were going through right now?
mm,
I would ask her this question: if you were to write a happy ending to your day or to this situation, what would that look like? And she's able
mm,
then to guide herself to, this is the goal. And I will come in as a coach and try to say, okay, let's find the steps so that we can create that script that you just wrote. Let's walk
mm,
that journey together. Let's start from the happily ever after, the happy ending that you just expressed. Let's work our way back. And
right.
and then that tends to be a little bit more effective because it gives you more of a creative control.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not focusing on what he did or she did or they did or what they said, but you're focusing on, if I had control, if I could wave a magic wand, this is the outcome I would want. And nine times out of 10, that is very possible that you can have that outcome. It's just about figuring out the steps to get from where you are now to where you want to be. And we figure that out together. So I would first ask a female client, what is it that you wish other people knew about what you're going through right now? And or if you could write the happy ending to this story, what would it be?
You are good. You are so good, Gregory. What I tell you. Now you got me in my head like, oh, what would I want people to know?
Oh, yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah,
Because it makes you
yeah,
think. It really does make you
yeah.
think about
And
um uh-huh.
yeah, or what is it that I don't know that you wish I did know? That's a
Yeah.
great question. I tell husbands to ask their wives. What is it that I don't know that you wish I did know?
Mm,
And
I love that.
that makes you pause, that makes you think. And if you got to take it sincerely, because a lot of times, you know, you don't want to just by reflex spout out angry stuff. You want to really take a deep breath and go, I wish you knew that I felt lonely when you don't help with the chores around the house. Like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, that was great. That was great information. That was great feedback. Thank you for that. And so you
Yeah.
want to create an atmosphere where people feel like they can express themselves in that way. As a coach, I'm not so much concerned about what you're fighting about. I'm more concerned about what you're fighting for.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of times couples will come and they will say, hey, I'm fighting because he doesn't help with the kids or he doesn't help with the chores. Okay, that's what you're fighting about. But what are you fighting for? You're fighting
Mm-hmm.
for more partnership. You're fighting for more communication. You're fighting for more closeness. And so
Right.
let's change what we're focused on. Let's not focus on what you're fighting about. Let's focus on what you're fighting for.
That's definitely a way to flip the script.
Hmm.
And to flip that mindset, right? It flips you
Yeah.
from complaining to, huh, I didn't think about it like that. So Gerard has a question for another question for you. One more thing, he said. Now I don't think this is the last thing. He said one more. Gregory and Tameka. Gregory, give a word on the need to protect each other during this toxic social and political environment. Not a blanket acceptance of dysfunction, but how to show solidarity and unity to a people whose well-being is literally under attack.
Ooh, great question. I love
Wow.
that question. This is what I say. Make it awkward. Make it weird. And so what I mean by that is oftentimes I do this as a habit and it makes people feel uncomfortable, which is the purpose. Whenever I hear someone say something disparaging about a black woman, my first reaction is a polite retort. And I would probably say, you know what? I know black women that don't act that way. All the black women in my life are very loving, kind, intelligent, nurturing. So you and I have a different experience because the black women I know are superheroes. And so,
Yeah.
but if that continues, I escalate my response. You know what? I don't like the way you talk about black women, or I don't like the way you talk about black men. And if you're going to be around me, I don't want to hear that.
Right.
The room gets quiet, people get uncomfortable, people tighten up. So the way that we protect ourselves is we have to advocate for each other and not be afraid to make it weird, to make people feel uncomfortable. If we're going to change this dialect or this internal conversation that we have in our community about each other, it has to start with someone saying, not in my presence. So I love what Iyanla says, not on my watch,
Not on my
right?
watch. Okay.
Not on my watch. Not when I'm around. So not when Tameka's in the room do we talk bad about black men. Not when Gerard's in the room do we talk bad about black women. Not on my watch. It doesn't happen when I'm around. I
Right.
will make the room awkward. I will make it weird. And not in a way that is, confrontational, but just firm. I don't
Right.
appreciate that type of talk. That you can't do that around me.
And that's the way it should be. That's exactly
Yeah.
how it should be. I grew up being the protector of girls, being
Hmm.
the protector, of cousins and, boys too. I'm just a big cuz.
Yeah.
But I grew up being that way, and it carried with me throughout adulthood. Still to this day, I'm very protective of us, right? And when I
Yeah.
see that we are being degraded, when I see that we are being talked about, and talked about in ways that aren't appealing, talked about in ways that is not uplifting and is not going to help anybody, especially the person who's doing the talking, it makes me feel a kind of way. It does, right?
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
can't reach out and touch them the way I used to, right? Because you just want to reach out and touch somebody's hand for a little
Right. Right.
while, but
Lay holy hands.
lay them hands, we gonna pray. Yeah, we gonna pray. But so for me, it is that same thing. I don't have a problem with making people uncomfortable. It's probably why I don't have a lot of friends. I don't have a problem with making people uncomfortable because I stand on what I stand on. I'm not okay with you being disrespectful to black men. I have a whole family full of them, okay? I have my brothers, I have cousins, I have uncles, I have my brothers Gerard and Gregory. I have
Hmm.
other guys in my life who I value our relationship, right? I have my husband for first and foremost, right? So there's no
Hmm.
way ever
Hmm.
that I'm ever going to be okay with anyone talking down about black men. I know that there's a lot of stress and hard things that are going on, but it's never okay to put them down. My daddy,
Absolutely.
okay?
Yeah.
Y'all ain't doing that. And so, when it comes to us women, it's another level of disrespect, another level of, okay, so who I got to reach out to and touch right now? Because that's not okay. It really is not okay to be that way. And I hate when people, they have a platform.
Hmm.
Okay. You have a platform. Do good with your platform. Do right with
Yeah.
your platform. Yeah.
Yeah.
You are
Yeah.
surrounded by us. So you can't,
I love that. I love that. And you know what? That's the best thing you can say. That's not okay.
right.
That's not okay. Yeah.
It's
And that's how
not.
we do it. We got to not be afraid to make it weird, make it strange, make people feel uncomfortable. If we're going to change it, we have to be the change we want to see, right?
Right.
And so, no, we can't do that. Not in my presence. Not on my watch.
Mm-mm. And that's the new hashtag, and we need to do something with it. Make it weird, okay?
Make it weird. Yeah. Yeah.
Make them uncomfortable, okay?
Yeah.
So I love all this. And again, our conversation tonight, it really has been all about clarity. It is clarity that that you began even talking about when it starts
Yeah.
clarity code, and then clarity even in your emotional intelligence. Like it's all
Yeah.
about being clear on what it is, on who you are and what you should be doing in life. And I'm going to put this up here again. This is Gregory's book, Emotional Intelligence for Men. If you haven't gotten the book, go get the book. It'll bless your life. It'll bless any other, your man's life. This is for all my ladies. It'll bless your man's life. And if you
Exactly.
want
Yeah.
to read it, if you don't want to pick the book up and start reading it out loud like a bedtime story, all right?
That's right. Yeah. Promise and special favors.
Right.
Um,
Scan the
Claire.
QR code. Visit
Yeah.
GregoryMcKinney.net. Go to Amazon. Get the book Emotional Intelligence for Men by Gregory McKinney. It'll bless your life. And so here's the thing, Gregory. I mean, not in spite, but with everything that you have going on, with everything that you are, with
Yeah.
every role that you feel, there's still work to be done. There's still
Right.
work to be done. And,
Hmm.
I want to talk about the unfinished work.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to talk about unfinished, but hold on, Gerard, say one more thing. Clarity makes me think about the Bible verse, in all you're getting, get some understanding. Yes, get some understanding about yourself. And
That's
in your
that, that's that is great. Clarity makes decisions easier because you know what you're supposed to do. And so when it comes to should I go left or should I go right, when you're clear, the decision is much easier. And
right.
so you need clarity.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's talk about unfinished.
Yeah.
Um, there's this, is it a quote or maybe it was something that she said? It was Oprah Winfrey. She said that no matter how much she achieves in life, no matter how many accomplishments she has or how many awards she may receive, there's still work to be done. She is still not finished. She is still
Yeah.
working on something else, something greater, her next
Yeah.
thing. And
Yeah.
so when you first told me about unfinished, that's the thing that came to my mind because I'm just like, absolutely, there's always something to do. We always have something to do, while we're working in our purpose and our calling, there's always a next step. Sometimes we may feel
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I can keep going. I don't know if I can pick it back up because I dropped it down. Where do I start? How do I pick it back up and keep going? And so let's talk a little bit about unfinished.
Sure. So Unfinished is a podcast that I will be starting here really, really soon. And the purpose of Unfinished is to do exactly what we're talking about, to acknowledge that we all are works in progress and that
Right.
we are a work that is never finished. And as long as you're living, as long as you have breath in your lungs, every single day that God wakes you up, there's still more opportunity to learn something new, do something new, be an inspiration. And so the rest of our lives, we'll be working on an unfinished project. And that's
Mm,
us. And
yes.
so these conversations that I'm looking to have on Unfinished is to help people get to that next thing. Because once you reach one mountain, you see another mountain that you should climb. And
Mhm.
so we want to talk about, and I want to inspire, I want to motivate people to keep going. Keep digging. Have you read every book in the library? No. So there's more to learn. Have you visited every city of every state in every country? No. So there's still more places to travel. Have you had your best kiss yet? No. So you do some more kissing. And so there's still more life out there to be had. There's still more things to learn, still more things to do. And because life is just this continuous journey of learning and evolving, I wanted to have conversations about that. Where are you today and where are you trying to go? And
Right.
let's talk about how to get there. And
Mm,
along that journey, there's going to be some tears, there's going to be some laughs, there's going to be some ups, there's going to be some downs. But I
right.
don't want you to stop because this is the biggest project you're going to work on. We
Yeah,
are until the day we die, we are all a work in progress. So we're all
absolutely.
unfinished and we still got work to do.
Listen, I'm just going to say this is about to be a powerful podcast, right?
Mhm.
Because you're touching on exactly what people need. You're touching on exactly the conversations that need to be had, and how they need to move forward. Because it's not just a conversation, you're guiding. It's
Yeah,
still it's in you. You can't help it. You can't stop it. You're gonna help them with their
yeah,
next step, until completeness comes. 1 Corinthians 13, absolutely. Um, and so unfinished with Gregory McKinney. It has a nice ring to it. I'm
I
ready.
love it.
I
I'm
can't
excited
wait.
about it.
Okay.
It's gonna be
um,
big.
it is. And
Yeah,
here's the thing. People need to hear your voice. They're ready. I'm not gonna tell you to give me a date right now. I'm not gonna. I should. I should say Gregory was in the first episode. I should. Okay. But I know that I'm excited for it just because I get to see it. I've witnessed
hmm,
I've witnessed your conversations and how you talk, but how thorough you
yeah,
are with helping others get to the next step. Even with myself, just conversations that we've had on getting to think outside of where you are right now, Tameka. Okay, think
yeah.
of where I have to think outside of yourself, Tameka. but um, but yeah. So I am. Oh, GW said he the second guest.
Most
Absolutely.
definitely.
We
Yeah.
are ready for Unfinished with Gregory McKinney because it's powerful and it's really, those are conversations, especially with the times that we're in. It will
Yeah.
allow others to release some of the things that they're holding in, but also as they're speaking, everybody else tuning in, they're also going to be able to experience that relief just from the coaching that you'll give right there on the podcast. So we're excited for it. We're excited about it, and I can't wait to bless the world Unfinished with Gregory McKinney.
It's gonna be
All
great.
right.
Thank you for this time. I've enjoyed this conversation. Let's do this
Absolutely.
again. Let's
And
do it
we
every
will.
week.
We will. We
Let's
will. We are here.
keep
And
talking.
so this has been Meet the Moguls with Mogul TV Global Network. This is our live showcase where I get to introduce y'all to the amazing people that I have in my life. And we just happen to be on Mogul TV. And so if
Mhm.
you are looking for a community, which is what we're all about, if you're looking for a good community, a community that don't mind supporting you, don't mind sharing, don't mind holding you accountable, okay? This is a community you want to be in, and we just happen to have shows and podcasts on streaming TV, Mogul TV Global Network. So if you're interested in learning more about Mogul TV, visit us at themogulchannel.com. Gregory, how can people get in contact with you, stay connected with you, learn from you, and do all the things that, one, clarity code, get
Yeah.
registered and get signed up for coaching? Because I believe that that is a really great starting point for anyone who is looking for clarity in life. But also, just how can they find you?
Yeah, yeah. So the best place is my website, gregorymckinney.net. You want to go there, and there you'll find all the information about me and what I offer. So gregorymckinney.net, or follow me on social media with Gregory McKinney dash life coach, or you just type in Gregory McKinney and I'll pop up also. And so you can DM me. My website, you have my phone number. You can give me a call. You can sign up on my calendar. You can set an appointment so that we can have a free consultation. If you just want to like say, hey, I've heard about you. What are you about? I do free consultations to see if we're a good fit. Smoke signals, pigeon, whatever it is, I'm here. Just get in contact. Probably the best way is through social media. Just look me up on Instagram and Facebook. Again, just type in Gregory McKinney. I'm there. Send me a DM and I'll get back to you within 24 hours.
Absolutely. And before we get out of here, GW said one more thing. I thank God for both of you and your heart to serve. Absolutely. We appreciate you. We
Thank you, my
thank God
brother.
for you too.
Appreciate it.
The greatest will be your servant. Absolutely. So thank you all for tuning in to Meet the Moguls. And if you catch on the replay, put hashtag replay in the comment. Let us know that you came in, you tuned in, but stay for the whole thing. If you listen, go back. Go back and take notes. Watch it the first time through, but go back and take notes now because Gregory has given us a lot of insightful things that we can be doing right now in our lives to move forward and having greater clarity, which is what it's all about. So thank you,
Hmm.
Gregory. I appreciate you for being here, and I
My
appreciate you for
pleasure.
being a part of the partnership on Mogul TV as we continue to reach new heights. And I'm excited for what it is that we have coming up, right?
I am too. The best. I love you, sis. God bless you. Thank you.
Y'all have a good evening.
Across the globe we're shining bright, telling stories that feel so right. From every culture, every place, we're building love, we're sharing grace. Oh, we see the beauty in every soul. Together we're stronger, making us whole. Legacy lives in all that we do. Mogul TV, it starts with you. Mogul TV, we're changing the game. One voice, one heart, one name. Streaming breaking boundaries.